let me discuss the other group of immunomodulators, that is the antibodies. Now, so if you see this antibodies, remember we have certain polyclonal antibodies which are useful as immunosuppressive drugs. And what are those polyclonal antibodies? Remember, polyclonal antibodies, they include the anti-lymphocyte antibody, right? They include anti-lymphocyte antibody. Next, the other one is the anti-thymocyte antibody, right? The anti-thymocyte antibody, and as well as the hyperimmune immunoglobulins, right? The other one is hyperimmune immunoglobulins, right? These are also the polyclonal antibody, and as well as the raw immunoglobulin, right? And as well as the raw immunoglobulin. So these are the polyclonal antibodies, right? These polyclonal antibodies, they are useful as immunosuppressive drugs. Right, they are useful as the immunosuppressive drugs. Now remember, recently several monoclonal antibodies have been synthesized to produce this effect, right? We have the polyclonal antibodies that is in our body. They are anti-lymphocyte antibody, anti-thymocyte antibody, hyperimmune immunoglobulins, ROD immunoglobulin. They are the one which have the immunosuppressive activity. Recently several monoclonal antibodies, these particular monoclonal antibodies have been synthesized to produce the immunosuppressive effect. Now let me tell you how is the nomenclature of this particular monoclonal antibodies are being present. Now if you take the nomenclature of the monoclonal antibody, remember in the nomenclature we have the four parts, right? The name of the monoclonal antibody can be divided into the four parts. Now let me tell you what are those four parts of the monoclonal antibodies. Number one, the first part will be the prefix, right? And the second part will be the target subsystem, right? The second part will be the target subsystem, and the third one will be origin subsystem, and as well as you will have a suffix, right? You will have a suffix. So these are the four parts of the nomenclature of the monoclonal antibody: prefix, target subsystem, the origin subsystem, and as well as the suffix. Now remember, the suffix for all monoclonal antibodies is MAB. Alright, the suffix for all the monoclonal antibodies is MAB. Now depending upon the source of origin, right, depending upon the source of origin, the various names are given, right? For example, right, depending upon the source of origin, the various names are given. For example, the word U, it stands for the source of origin is from human, alright, and the word XI stands for the source of origin is chimeric, right? The source of origin is chimeric, etc. Whereas if you take the target subsystem or the target is identified by specific letters. Now what are those specific letters? For example, you take VI stands for virus. You take CI stands for circulation. So if you take the target, right, if you take the target it is identified by specific letters. Right, target it is identified by specific letters. For example, VI it stands for virus. You take CI, this CI it stands for circulation, right? Now remember, previously the target it consisted of 3 letters, right? It consisted of 3 letters. The first letter is the consonant, the second letter is vowel, the third one is consonant again. But the third consonant can be deleted for the ease of pronunciation. So previously the target was consisting of 3 letters: consonant, vowel and consonant. In 2009, new and shorter target subsystems were introduced. Alright. So in 2009 it was the newer target subsystems were introduced. Now a point what you should remember is this particular prefix. Remember, prefix is different for each monoclonal antibody, right? The prefix it is different for each monoclonal antibody. So this is what is the nomenclature of the monoclonal antibodies, which has 4 parts. That is prefix, target subsystem, origin subsystem and as well as the suffix. And for all the monoclonal antibodies the suffix will be MAB, and depending upon the source of origin, for example, if the word U is given, it means the source of origin is human. If the word XI is given, it means that the source of origin is chimeric. And the target subsystem, they are defined by specific letters. For example, VI stands for virus, CI stands for circulation. And if you take the prefix, it is different for different monoclonal antibodies.